After dating a while, when you get to a stage of wanting to introduce your significant other to your parents, it can be quite daunting, don't you think? I mean, if you do it too soon, it's off-putting. If you wait too long, it can cause the person you're dating to start questioning your seriousness with the relationship. And then there's a whole other thing you have to deal with your parents and their parents. You know, this one time, this lady friend of mine was telling me how when she was in campus and she was dating, when her boyfriend, now husband, would call, they got married, she'd, change her voice and make it sound so official or something so serious and call him very weird names. She'd be like, dude, Murume, yes, Jontes. Yeah, what's up? I'm hearing you. Sema, while walking away. And then she was likening that to her younger sister now, who just struts in and tells her mother, Mom, this is Brian. Brian is my boyfriend. And the mom doesn't even, cause any wahala. She's totally okay. You know the way parents grow older and they ease and out on things, they would never stand with you. So she was mesmerized about that. I've only once gotten to introduce my mom to one woman, just one woman. Good evening, by the way, and this is Eric Stories. Thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me. Please check out, acquaint yourself if you're new here with my social media handles. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And while at it, please subscribe to my channel. And share with me what you think. I've left all of my DM opens just for you. So use that to share your mind with me. I appreciate it. So one time, only one time, it wasn't even a proper introduction, where my culture, not my culture, I wouldn't blame it on culture, my household, it was seriously implied that if you were serious with somebody, then you would only then introduce them to your family. But you just come in with Jane, I'm dating Jane, then you show up. Oh, my mother would never let that happen. So this one time I was leaving the country and my girlfriend then was taking me to the airport. And my mother also said, I don't mind, I'm easy, I can take you to the airport. And so I went to pick my mother up with my girlfriend. And then I said to my mom, oh, by the way, mommy, this is, I didn't say girlfriend, I just said, let's call her, what we call her, Lucy. So I said, oh, mommy, this is Lucy, and then Lucy, this is my mom. And my mother never liked her. You know the way you can look at somebody's face and be like, what did she do to you? And my girlfriend then knew immediately the way my mother didn't like her. In fact, when we got to the airport, my mother made her way with me to the customs, the side where only people are permitted to travel gets. And she was telling those guys, he's my son, and I need to talk to him in private. So I had to leave Lucy behind, and my mother let me have it about what she thought of Lucy. And so it was only one time, and it didn't turn out very well. So then I've been thinking about you and me when that time comes, and maybe you are very difficult parents, and you have to make the introduction to your parents about the person you're dating. What are some of the ways to introduce your boyfriend or girlfriend to your parent? I think that is a conversation worth having, don't you think? I mean, it's different for everybody. Some people's parents are very laid back. It's like, bring everybody you're dating, honey. We love you. We want to know who you're dating. We want to know who you're dating, honey. I was staying with this family in the States, and this lady, younger girl, not girl, maybe 19, would bring the boyfriend over and he would sleep over and they would sit on each other, and I was just cringing because I never saw that growing up. So it would be that your family is very like that. You guys are not, you're liberal, or your family is very conservative. So then what do you do? What do you do? What do you do when you're dating and you feel like it's getting very serious? And you're tired of calling him Murume? What do you do? First, tell him, all right, all he needs to know about your family. Be it a him or a her, tell them all they need to know about your family. What your mom and dad like, what they are fussy about, some questions she might need to prepare for. For instance, some parents are very big on education. So if your significant other is not big about that stuff, so you want to maybe coach them about what to say before the introduction so they're not embarrassed. There are things your parents would always ask. So prepare them, coach them about those things. That's very important, all right? On the other hand, let both your parents in on who your person is. If they are shy, for instance, tell that to your parents. Mommy, I'm dating this woman, she's painfully shy, so please guys, go gentle on her. Don't look at her deep in the eye, she might start crying, all right? About, even the questions, if you're free with your parents like that, you can even talk about questions you would think them to ask. right? So in a nutshell, let both ends know what to expect. My girlfriend is shy. My parents are boisterous. They really are boisterous. So I'm going to coach you on what to say. This is likely what they're going to say. Not to fake it, but to get the gist, right? I think that's important. Also tell your boyfriend or girlfriend in advance how your parents would like to be addressed. Some parents are very fussy. He went to med school and he's a serious doctor. You can't call him Mr. Kimani. He'll be offended. If your father is like that, then tell your girlfriend or boyfriend the same. Just say, my dad is so fussy about being referred to as Engineer Ogola McIntosh. It's very important that you say Engineer Ogola McIntosh, sir. If you don't say that, he'll get an attitude. And so then, your girlfriend prepares and says, my other point, Engineer Ogola McIntosh, sir. No, it's really true. I know some guy used to throw a fit if you don't refer to him as a doctor. He'd be like, what did you call me? What did you call me? No, rewind. What did you call me before now calling me? I'm Dr. X, Y, and Z. So there are people who are like that. So introductions must factor that, right? Clue your boyfriend or girlfriend on your parents' interests, all right? Their hobbies, for instance, jobs and social lives, to give them an insight of what your parents are like. So for instance, if your dad is very big on accounts and sports, that is a good conversation starter. So that the conversation might flow, right? So you clue them. You're like, my dad is into polo. Do you know anything about polo? It's just like an interview, I think. Yeah, because polo will always come up. So if you know anything about polo, you want to, throw it in there, it will make the conversation flow. What do you think? Only try and mention his or her interest, all right, in line with your parents. Say, for instance, if I am dating you and I am a journalist and your mother worked for Voice of Kenya for 35 years, that would make for a good conversation. Oh, by the way, mom, you have no idea. Eric has had some journalism experience. Eric, do you want to tell them about how you worked on radio? I'm like, yeah, mom. Oh, yeah. You see now. Tell him or her what to wear. We have to admit it. Some parents are very fussy. Some parents are formal or rather prefer formal attires. Others traditional. So tell him what to wear or tell her what to wear. A button-down shirt, babe. And you're not going with that punk. You have to get a clean shave. My dad thinks everybody in dreadlocks is a bit funny. Those would make things smoothen out. Or if you're going to put the dreadlock, then put on a turban. It's called a turban or Taliban. I don't know. So that's that sort of thing. It's very important. Are they into jeans? Will they judge them because they're wearing their jeans? The faded jeans with, cuts? It's very important, I think. Yeah? If only I'd known this. It's better for the introduction to be one-on-one rather than on a family event. Some people do this. So maybe one of your sisters is being married and then you take your boyfriend. It can be overwhelming for your partner. There are so many faces they need to see and act nice to. So I think it's important for you to try and schedule time and a place to meet where there won't be tons of relatives, all right? It can be too nerve-wracking for your partner. It totally can. Imagine seeing 15 of your uncles together and it's an introduction. It'll be like, oh my gosh, And some are inquisitive, some are taking stabs at them. So maybe set a date outside of a family function. I know maybe you're shy and you don't want a lot of questions, but I think it's better on a one-on-one than on a big event where the family members are at. What do you think? If you're dating across cultures, because most people are dating across cultures now, learn your significant other's culture and their introduction customs and adhere to them accordingly. It's important. They are not you, they're not your culture, they're things they practice. I know about my friend, he's from Western Kenya, and the father of the man cannot shake hands with the woman the man is married to. So they just wave like this. They wave. They can't shake hands. So if you don't know that, and you're going to like, hello, father-in-law, then he'll be like, hey, 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 and then you're in trouble. So that's also important. Talk about cross-cultural customs and ways in which people introduce each other. And I think allow your parents to ask your boyfriend questions or your girlfriend questions. It's just an idea to have them connect. Unless they go way overboard, but just have them ask questions. Sometimes you'd be shocked. Parents can see while seated what you cannot see on the tallest building in the heart of the city. All right? And then finally, I think it's important to keep the topics of conversations light and sociable or social, right? If there's a subject that you and your parents don't agree on, don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Things like politics or religion, don't bring those up. It's just going to make the situation a bit more tense than it needs to be. Focus on topics that will be fun to talk about, and we let everybody in on something to say and end on a happy note. Fashion, if all of you are into fashion, design, you know, housing, things like those. But if you want to start bastardizing their political preference or candidate for the presidency, then you're going to have a very tough luck. If you've ever met somebody and introduced them to your family, let me know how it went and some of the things you overlooked, which were very important. Good evening.